With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alabama's super speedway on the water as Gunners of Lake Hydrofest returns June 29th and 30th.
Catch 2 days of fast-paced action as drivers chase speed records on the South's fastest water. 5 classes of race boats will compete, including H1 Unlimiteds, with speeds pushing up to 200 miles an hour. You won't want to miss this summer's most exciting event on Gunners of Lake. More than just boat racing. The event venue includes kids' water slides, food trucks, custom motorcycles and Jeeps, and interactive displays. Tickets start at just $15 a day for a day pass and $5 for children ages 6 to 12. 5 and under are free, making it the perfect weekend for families. Thursday night, June 27th, head to the City Harbor at 6 p.m. for the ultimate street party, where you can get up close and personal with drivers and race boats and grab team merchandise. The best way to kick off your Hydrofest weekend. Gunners of Lake Hydrofest. Come see it for yourself. More information at gunnerslakehydrofest.com.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom, can you get me a little typeset?
Now, funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and amuse you?
You're tired.
Lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
A very pleasant good Monday afternoon to you. Welcome into the Thom Abraham Show. Can you turn the studio to the 3 o'clock position if it's not already over there?
Steve, it is.
Is it? Really?
Yeah.
So there's clearly something going on.
I think
what did Tyson do?
Recording earlier, so if anything got changed, I'm not going to blame him, but it's still, the studio slide is still on 3 o'clock.
All right.
Welcome, everybody, to the Thom Abraham Show,
That
by
is
the way.
Chad Gwathney. My name is Steve Moulton. Yeah, it just sounds a little different in my headset, but that doesn't mean anything to you fine folks out there. Yeah, Thom. So Thom and I took the week off this week.
Except you don't understand the word off.
I'm going to let that sink in. Thom and I both took the week off, but I'm working today. But nonetheless, we'll have some alternate programming throughout the week. And Chad will be the point man in charge here for this very program We do have some day baseball, I want to say, coming up on Thursday. Okay, so we've got a lot to get to.
That's news, because I thought, okay, cool.
We've got some day baseball Thursday.
Cool.
I'm not sure if it's going to – the longer pregame might give you a little bit of a break.
Right.
So we've got a lot to get to. There's 2 Game 7s. I said 2 Game 7s as we have a Game 7 down. It's not in Miami. All right, it's not. It's in Fort Lauderdale.
They don't even love their team. They don't even care.
It's not even a stop on the Bright Line. So I mean, I just nonetheless, it's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but nonetheless, a Game 7 should be a lot of fun. I'm going to tune in. I'm a hockey head, you know that. But interesting, the swings of this particular series between the Oilers and the Panthers. And we'll see whether or not Drysdale will show up. It feels like that's where this story is leading, but we'll talk more about that later on here in this first hour. Coming up in hour number 2, Tony Sakalis wrote about football and football, so that's why Chad
we had to throw some soccer in just because Tom's not here today. But, I mean, in the first hour, just to talk a little bit about hockey, I mean, just to see what happens between Skinner, McDavid, Drysdale, like you said. Bob Stauffer, he's the Oilers color commentary. He's going to be on at 12:35, so hopefully he can kind of give us a breakdown of everything that's going on, and also maybe he's apparently one of the biggest Alabama fans around up there. So hopefully,
we'll get him to say about a couple of times.
We'll say him to say about Roll Tide or something like that. We'll get him to say a few things just so we can get some sounders out of it.
Properly sound out his O's.
I'm sorry.
So I wanted to start with this. I wasn't able to on Friday because we had a shortened show on the drive. But Thursday, I was down at Rickwood, and that was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't.
I saw the pictures.
It wasn't literally cool, but so where they sat us, we were in section 23. The press box, I don't know if you've ever been to Rickwood, very tiny. I mean, they actually do have a press box, and it was for Baseball Writers Association only.
Ooh,
anyway,
fancy.
But they built another press box on top that's where the Fox crew was.
Yeah.
And got to see John Smoltz and Joe
That's cool.
Davis.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. But I was in section 23. To the right of me was a guy from London, a reporter from London. To a guy to the left of me was a reporter from Tokyo.
No wonder we couldn't get credentials.
Yeah. So the guy from London, I tweeted this out for people that don't follow me on Twitter. I at the very beginning, the press box always has their own little PA guy, and I always get the weird. If you're ever in an alternate press, I'm sure you've probably sat in alternate press seating at some point, and so we'll get looks from fans like, what's going on? So. Very first pitch of the game, time of the first pitch is 6:36. It's 86 degrees. So the London reporter leans over and says, what was that again? And I said, first pitch is 6:36 and it's 86 degrees. 86 degrees? Yes, it's 86 degrees. Oh, you mean 30? No,
we don't use that over here, sir.
No, it's 86 degrees. It's 30 degrees Celsius. I said, thank you, metric man.
We don't use Kelvin. We don't use metric system over here in America. Sorry. Us and Venezuela, I think, are the only 2 countries that don't use it.
Of the importance,
it's wrong.
The conversation I had with the Tokyo reporter, I immediately went to sports betting for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And he told me, in fact, he flew over specifically to cover this game at Rickwood, because baseball is that big of a deal in Japan. So I was interested in sports betting for obvious reasons. Like there is some kind of national hero that was revolved around sports gambling. Well, he told me, and I looked at some of the numbers and looked it up. Sports gambling in Japan is way bigger than it is here. That he said he regularly runs into Japanese baseball players while they're playing the game, bet on a pitch, bet on a play during the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it shocked me a little bit, but all of a sudden.
Difference of cultures.
Yeah, so yeah. I immediately said, so you're telling me The interpreter? Yeah, so this is the interpreter, and he was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of times where countries, especially the United States, and I'm not like dogging us, but we try to be, holier than thou, or like we try to be better than thou, and it's like, yeah, in a way, but also they're allowing them to kind of just be them. Like I could understand if you're point shaving or if you're not trying or whatever. That's different.
Yeah.
But if you're like quote Pete Rose and you're betting on yourself and you're betting on your team winning every single night, I'm okay with that. And if you want to bet on if your teammate's gonna hit a pitch or not, it's kind of funny in the dugout to kind of.
I mean, we have that on a. There's so many softball leagues that have beer leagues that I'm sure have bets on whatever.
Yeah.
But I've never heard it like on a professional basis that way. Now I have seen in my day NBA players kind of do a little side thing here and there.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do a double here.
Well, it's but it's not like a bounty gate, or it's not like something that's gonna be it's gonna affect your team, or you're gonna get to the point where. Because then I think what I have an issue with that is a lot of people that you'll have the conspiracy theorists that think that everything's rigged, that all of these sports are rigged, that eventually it's like if you're going to allow this going on while you're playing, then clearly you don't care, and it's not about the sport. It's not about the integrity of the game because that's all thrown out the window anyway in some of these sports.
Oh, by the way,
what they allow.
On the subject of that, I love how Major League Baseball – remember a couple of weeks ago about the certain umpire that has, that was swept through the rug pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, nobody's talking about it.
Nah.
I mean, at least Tim Donaghy, they went through that process and kind of flushed it out for everybody to see. Not so much for Major League Baseball.
Nah, sweep it under the rug, just like everything else, and just kind of just don't even look at it. And then we'll find out about it later.
And make up your own strike zone.
Yeah, make up your own strike zone. And I will say this, another thing about when you're talking about Rickwood earlier is if you're watching it on TV.
Have you been to Rickwood?
No, I have not been to Rickwood.
Yeah.
I need to go, I know. Yeah. But the video that they did with the old-timey video of what it would have looked like back in the day, where they did like an alternate view of the screen.
Oh, they did that like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're talking about the little crackle.
Yeah, and they made
this.
They put the sound like it would have sounded back in the day too.
I did go back and watch it, and I noticed Joe Davis screwed up halfway through it, saying, "I need my modern technology."
But it was pretty cool. Like it was something that you don't see every day. I get it. You can do anything with like digital effects and everything like that.
Yeah.
Where we could probably end up putting us in we could put like a old timey shade on us and have that too. But.
I know there is several press boxes that aren't as good as Rickwood's is that I've been in calling high school football games or high school baseball games or college basketball games. It just there is several places like that, but it was kind of cool to see the old girl dressed up and.
I saw how they got it all together, how they got it, all like they fixed it up a lot better than, Mercedes-Benz Stadium did for the soccer game. So, I mean, it was literally like, it was a beautiful field, the way they set up the press box.
They said
it wasn't
that I was
very
worried
big.
about the most was the field, and it was immaculate.
And they said the experience was fun, but they said obviously there weren't a ton of fans that were there. But it was still like a crazy experience, enough
8,000.
of a spectacle that was like,
a little over 8,000. But there was a little bit of a lull. I will say the chant of Willie before the anthem, that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was
having his son out there. I get it. Would have been better if he was out there. It would have been better. It would have been more magical. I think it would have been a little bit better feel and everything like that. But still, that feel in itself. Just what you were able to watch, just for a second, just take away all the differences we have, everything that's going on in the world, just to kind of sit there and play baseball and be all connected that's pretty special. And especially, I've heard everybody say this. I've heard Paul Feinbaum say this. It really is a special thing for the city of Birmingham as well. As much whether the history of Birmingham or just even the recent history of Birmingham and just the historical history of Birmingham throughout so many years. Like, it's definitely a bright moment in the city of Birmingham as well.
So the first time I went to Rickwood, I thought, there's that sign, I think, near Warrior. that says Rickwood.
Yeah.
And so I thought Rickwood was right there.
Nope.
I got off the exit. Nope. Sure, but that wasn't Thursday, obviously. But I thought Rickwood was where the Rickwood sign was. But nonetheless, it was the entire neighborhood kind of embraced it. And in fact, the neighborhood that I parked in, I parked next to a church about 2 blocks over.
Don't park in a church or your car will get locked in.
I did not do that. But they were just having it was just a party. Everybody was grilling out, and the cops closed down a lot of the streets around it. So it just turned into kind of a neighborhood party, and it was cool. Because you walk right through, and everybody is saying, enjoy the game, and I mean, it was great. Although the two things, one thing in particular that I would do different moving forward, MLB needs to do this yearly. Just put it on Juneteenth. Just own it on Juneteenth there at Rickwood Field on Juneteenth. And next year maybe, I don't know, have the White Sox play the Athletics because those were 2 former affiliates. Aren't they still a White Sox affiliate? I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Yes, they are. Yes. That would be cool. That would be Brewers. I mean, give me White Sox Brewers. I mean,
I'm
even
trying
like
to think of
the time period.
associations with
Yeah.
Birmingham in
Right.
particular.
Right.
And that's why they went Giants and St. Louis for the Negro League tie-in.
Right.
So
and Josh Carey actually said something really cool. I think it was last week when he was on, that said because of the Cardinals, obviously it was Cardinals Nation before it was Braves Nation. So it's kind of like, I get that. Trust me, I understand that. I would have said, anything, I would have probably maybe said Chicago because of the number of Cubs fans I've seen around here, especially in this area. So, and just being able to be accessible like TBS and everything like that. So, but yeah.
Well, one question I had to Tom Verducci, I said, I love these uniforms, but are they see-through? And he just started laughing, saying, no, they fixed that problem. And
can't be as bad as Florida State's alternate jersey that they came out with. I don't know if you ever saw that.
No, I didn't.
It's very revealing in the crotchular region. And all of social media was all about that. They were like, you probably need to take that video down. They were like, you probably need to take that pic down.
We're going to get more jokers in Nashville asking people about
Hawktaws and girls from,
See, I wasn't going to say that, but,
But, I mean, that's apparently all over the internet. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not the Oilers girl. It's not that. It's but apparently it's like he might get a deal. He might get a deal if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, those uniforms. I actually like it when they do that. It's like, just make it a real uniform. Don't give me some, like, I do love what the minor leagues are able to do because it's a lot cheaper. It's easier for them to produce and everything like that.
Well, how many different uniforms do the Trash Pandas have?
Right, but I mean, that's something that's like a thing that they do every, giveaway night or something. It's like the Havoc. The Havoc's main jersey is an amazing jersey, and then they come out with those other jerseys, and you can tell that they're pressed on and they go to great causes and everything like that, and they're great printed out, but it's printed. It's not like a real jersey where it's like, heavier than just like a t-shirt like this, like the crystal being printed on or something. You know what I mean?
Well, where is your Bigfoot Little Donuts
I do have it hung up. I was actually wearing it over the weekend. Okay. So,
all right.
So yeah,
I went,
totally honest with you.
Went there over the weekend.
I work out in it because when people give you looks and you're wearing a donut shirt, working out or exercising outside, they don't expect you to be wearing a donut shirt. You know what I mean?
No.
It's like an oxymoron.
Yeah,
pretty much is.
So
unless I'm like running a 5K and doing that would be pretty cool. A Bigfoot donut 5K. I could probably do that.
So I have floated the idea, and I've told this to Tom once, and I'm sure he'll love me the fact to say it on the air. The idea of us getting another event together, calling it a .977 fun run.
You told me about this too.
A just under 1 mile fun run, no 5K, no 10K, just a .977 fun run, but you do have to eat donuts on every loop. I was thinking like just some track. We own the track, and then you just down a bunch of donuts on every loop.
You might see a few of the Doghouse faithful, and you might see a few of the 97.7 faithful on the side of the road passed out. puking or just laying down on their backside, just baking in the sun. Because it would be we have to do this during the winter, I would think too. Because
Any truth to the rumor that Thom took this week off because the Braves beat the Yankees 2-1?
Yeah, no, he's enjoying himself. I think he's fine. I think he knows what's going on. He says I talked to him this morning. He says they're basically slumping the same as the Braves were, and Juan Carlos Stanton going out, that doesn't help him.
No.
One of their
no. If you're a Braves fan, cry me a river on injuries.
When you got, that's the thing. People are talking about Kelenic and how successful he's being. If you watch baseball, he was really good for the Mariners. It's just he's playing for a pretty bad team.
But he's also hitting where he normally hits. In the leadoff position. He's doing very well, and it is amazing to see Alex Anthopoulos do Alex Anthopoulos things again.
The core of the lineup, Steve, is what's really keeping them in games. Albies, here's the problem with Albies. Everyone's enjoying Albies right now. Enjoy Albies in August and September.
Until he gets hurt?
Until he gets hurt or he can't hit anymore, apparently. But, right now, Olsen's down. If you go look at the right now compared to right before the All-Star game, where the Braves were at, every single one, 1 through 9, they were either ranked first or second in home runs or RBIs or doing something statistically offensively. Right now, they're like 13th or 12th in the MLB when it comes to statistic-wise offensively. So it's just a team that their core is playing really well. Outside of the core, that's what's really the core is not playing really well, but outside of the core is what's really keeping them in games.
Yeah.
On top of quality pitching.
It's nice to see Austin Riley hit a little bit as well. It's also nice to see my boy Holmes in the bullpen. I tell you, Kenny Powers in the bullpen is easy to root for. So we've got that as well. But the Braves are in St. Louis tonight. We are not airing that game because of the final game, and maybe time runs slower in Omaha compared to here because every single game that we've carried from Omaha has felt like it's been minimum 4 hours.
They asked Tony Vitello about that 4-hour game that they had, and here's what I don't understand. It's okay for we really don't recognize it unless we're watching really watching college baseball that it's 4 hours long, and we don't complain about the pitchers throwing over 120 strikes or pitches except until we get into the MLB, and then when they throw 70 and we freak out because the coach took them out. And it's they also have the 20-second clock, I believe, in college, I think. They do have a clock.
They do.
So even though some changes are there, it doesn't speed up the game at all, and I don't mind it.
It's amazing how quickly my mind has changed over.
Yeah.
And this is just year 2 or 3? I can't even remember off the top of my head when Major League Baseball implemented all these changes. I think this is the second year.
So this is the second year because the clock went from, 20 to 18 to 18.
Yeah.
And then now you've got the bigger bases, which was a couple years ago. You've got the automated strike zone in AAA right now, which was last year, I believe. So, that's the thing about it is all these rules, but yet I really don't. Outside of the stolen bases rule and and you can't throw back to first more than twice.
Yeah.
There's that too. So all of those rules haven't really in a game, I haven't really noticed that. Even though the games have been going by pretty quick, some of these Trash Panda games have been going longer than some of the MLB games have been going. So sometimes I'm kind of worried on where I put the hard stop after 3 hours because you never know what's going to happen late in some of these Trash Panda games.
Are they finally on the road? Yeah, with that little series against Mississippi. Boy, they were at home for a while. They are at Chattanooga this week. And we'll have the coverage for you over on our sister station. That'd be 97.7.2-2. It's our HD.2 channel. Head on over there for every single Trash Panda game. Brandon is called in. Let's squeeze in him before we take our first time out. Then we'll talk some hockey on the other side. How are you, Brandon?
Did you get Chad to turn the station feed to 2 for me?
I don't think I can do that. I can't do that. I mean, I could. I can do that, actually. Here you go.
Yeah.
The act of doing something, knowing that you would have to be a sort of martyr.
There you go. All Fox News during
really
the day, Fox Sports on the weekend, and Bill O'Reilly every day at 6 o'clock Central Time, in your case.
Miller and Moulton, 5 to 7 in the morning.
Ah, that's right.
Don't forget it.
Are they on vacation this week or next week? I think
next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering, does Travis Darno have dirt on the Clintons or something? Because he has gone MIA, and I wonder if he was ever coming back, because he was on a tear before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And it seems like with a concussion, he should be back by now.
Well, but concussions are so hard to
Hasn't he had like 2 other ones?
Yeah, and
he's one of those guys,
older,
I think. Yeah.
And it just not every concussion is the same to everybody. So it's hard to put a timeline exactly on that.
We're working on 3 months though, aren't we?
I don't think it's 3 months. I would say
Over
half
2.
that. I thought it was a month and a half. Is that
I
not?
I thought he originally got hurt in April.
But then he went on a tear. So you're asking, when did he go on the disabled list?
Yeah. I mean, we need his bat back really bad.
Yeah.
He was knocking home runs like when you didn't expect them, and the Braves really need that bat back very badly. And I've been sitting here for, it seems like 2 months, maybe over 2 months, wondering when he's coming back, because I would have thought, close to 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, here's what's
he would be back by now.
Well, here's what's confusing, because I went back and looked at their injury updates since April, and Austin Riley was on the roster for 15 days, but he never played a game.
That's right. Yeah.
So, and he's not even listed in the injury report.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the Braves are doing, if they're allowed. I mean, if not like hiding anything, but I mean like whether it's like not as serious as we think it is, like. Maybe he's out, but he's out just to kind of like give him some rest, basically. Like it's not. It's. I guess it's.
I'm more concerned about Michael
load
Harris
management
myself. I want Michael Harris back sooner rather than later.
Well, are you coming to Rome for the AJ Minter rehab start?
He's starting a game.
He started this past weekend. He came in last weekend.
I wasn't going to tell Steve it already happened. I was going to get his reaction.
My bad.
Oh, no.
My bad. I ruined it.
I saw you reach out to me, but no, I was a little busy over the weekend.
I didn't know if you wanted to come see somebody fall on their face, or if you just wanted me to record it for you.
I would love to see an impromptu, Mississippi Braves come back to Rocket City or something like that, and they just kind of say, hey, AJ, just kind of make the rounds and, go to Mississippi.
I was eating and saw that advertisement for AJ Minter going to be in Rome for a rehab start.
I'm good.
And about choked.
Yeah. Yeah. They announced that on June 22nd, by the way. So, I was.
There was a radio station in Atlanta, and it's not getting circled around, but the comment was made, and I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
They said that when they play that game at Rickwood Field, it should be played with all black players.
That's stupid.
I mean, what do you want me to say to that? Other than whoever said that's a moron. So
there's some folks on Atlanta radio that let that one belt out the other day, and they're trying to hide it. So I would lay that at their feet if I had the audio.
So you're telling me there's a job opening in Atlanta that I need to be on the lookout for?
Hey, we would love to have you come back over here, but that would probably end what's left of mine and Tom's friendship. That would probably be the end of it, because he called me out calling for a month, but he's only done like 4 shows since.
Yeah, I was about to say he has to be here.
He said he did 7 shows since that last comment.
I have to work here for all the fill-ins that I do. I mean, technically, I'm on vacation right now.
Yeah, I'm on vacation next week, right? That's not happening.
There's 2 people at this station that do not get a break, and it's right here. It's right here.
I'm going to be monitoring this place. Don't worry.
Oh, trust me. You think I'm not going to be monitoring this station?
Just show up at 9 o'clock at night because nobody will be here.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. You won't even know.
If Tom's in Blue Ridge, I'm not far from him right now because I'm actually up here doing a little work today.
Nice.
So, gentlemen, Y'all have a great day. I'm out like Isaiah Bugs. Roll Tide.
Let's talk a little hockey, do that hockey thing on the other side as we get a Game 7 tonight down in Miami-ish.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's freezer season at Owen Home Appliance Center. So if rising temps have that freezer on its last leg, check out the name brand frost-free upright and chest freezers. Best of all, Owen Home Appliance has them in stock and ready to go or have delivered. Don't let all that high-dollar food go to waste. Go to Owen Home Appliance Center and get that new freezer. And while supplies last, get a $50 gift card towards the purchase of Wagyu beef when you purchase a freezer. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. Samplesproperties.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hey folks, Bobby White here for Woody Anderson Ford. Get ready to experience the ride of your life with our summer lineup. First up, the 2024 Bronco Sport. We've got nearly 75 to choose from. Bronco Sport is built for adventure with its rugged design, all-terrain capability, and advanced tech features. And right now at Woody Anderson Ford, you get $1,750 in total cash back. And yes, we do have the Bronco Badlands Edition in stock. Need something bigger? Check out the award-winning Expedition. Perfect for families and summer vacation, it offers spacious comfort, top-notch safety features, and plus, we've got 24 Expedition financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months. And for all you truck lovers, we've got the 2024 F-150. America's favorite truck, delivers unmatched power and innovative features, and we've got financing as low as 3.9% for 60 months on F-150. Plus, these are the final hours of no payments for 90 days on select models, including Expedition, Bronco Sport, Explorer, and more. These offers are with your good credit, and they end July 8th. Come on in to Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms can include pain, heaviness, aching, fatigue, or swelling at the end of the day. If this has been the case, then Varicosity Vein Center can come to your aid. Evaluation and treatment of the veins is performed as an outpatient, utilizes the latest, minimally invasive techniques, and is covered by most insurances. After treatment, patients may resume most normal activities without delay. Varicosity Vein Center now has 3 North Alabama locations, one in Huntsville on South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road. Our new locations include Madison at Madison Hospital Complex and Coleman at the Coleman Regional Sports Medical Center. You can call 256-715-7151 to set up your appointment with one of our experienced and compassionate team members, or you can visit online at varicosityweincenter.com. Varicosity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Each week, check out our latest zone deal online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm eating good food.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. This is Chad Gwathney, Coach Grizz. Across the glass, Steve Moulton, always helping me out. Always here. He's always vigilant. He's always trying to help out the radio station as much as possible. Does a great job here. Another guy that does a great job, and you can hear him on the radio call for the Edmonton Oilers as they try to make history as first time since 1942 to have a big comeback like this, and Edmonton getting outscored as much as they did to be able to outscore their opponent the way they did 18-4. What better way to have Bob Stauffer, the radio color commentary for the Edmonton Oilers, and apparently a big, big Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Bob, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I'm a big Alabama Crimson Tide fan. The Oilers were in Arizona in 2015 when I saw Alabama beat Clemson for the 2015 National Championship game, and then unfortunately we were in San Jose in the year you guys got blown out 44-16 by Clemson. So I was at that game as well. So I've actually never been in the state of Alabama, but I've watched pretty much every single game that's available on YouTube. I'm an old SID, Sports Information Director at the University of Alberta, and at one time was offered a scouting position with the Edmonton Eskimos of football back in the mid-2000s and did play-by-play football as well as hockey. So I've some people have suggested we talk too much about Alabama over the years. I like excellence in programs. Obviously, Nick Saban had a terrific process in terms of what he did and, kind of jump-started what at that time had kind of become a morbid program. I worked with the Alberta Golden Bears program, and we'd won a similar amount of national championships in hockey. And I was involved in recruiting, and Chris Knobloch, our head coach, was on the team when I was doing their games 24 years ago, 25 years ago. So I have a great appreciation for what college football means in the SEC. Our concussion specialist did his post-grad at Georgia. So last year, the Atlanta Thrashers were in the NHL, which was my second year doing the Oilers color. I went in to go see Georgia and Auburn at Sanford Stadium, but I've never actually been to a game in Alabama, just the way our schedule works with the start of the year with preseason hockey and the rookie tournaments and stuff. And, I would have loved to have come down on the 28th to go see Alabama play Georgia, but we got an exhibition game that night. So, and I do all the games. So, but it's you guys got a wonderful you got two good programs in that state. I know Auburn's kind of up and down a bit and always capable of knocking Bama out in the Iron Bowl, but you just the level of what you've had really since Saban left the Dolphins to go into Alabama has been incredibly impressive. And the fact that he won two different ways, he won with defense and pounding the rock for the first three championships, and then opened up with the spread when you won the next three championships. So there's a lot to admire about it.
So which side of the fence are you on fan base wise with the addition of Kalen DeBoer and the new age of what Crimson Tide football is going to look like?
Well, I actually took so I'm in year 16 doing color for the Oilers, and before that, in our bye week in football at the University of Alberta, I would go and take a trip down to the States, and we try to combine an NFL game with an NCAA game. So I saw Bush at USC in 2004, and in 2005 when Ty Willingham returned to went to Washington, Notre Dame went in there and played. As you guys know, he coached Notre Dame before he ended up at Washington, and that was the game where the kid, Charlie Weiss, coaching Notre Dame, and the kid's last name is Bendouzi. Actually, they did one of those things where children that weren't going to have long to live, and they let the kid call the first play. We were at that game, so we get Washington and Washington State football. That's the cable package we get in Alberta. So we get a lot of those games. Now, obviously, we get CBS SEC game of the week until I guess this year. We get that as well, but I think that I think it's tough to win in Washington. Don James was there. We had a quarterback named Warren Moon. You guys are probably well aware of.
Oh yeah.
Played for the Edmonton Eskimos. That's the team that offered me the scouting job. Warren was there at Washington. So they've had some runs where they probably 3 runs where they've been pretty good. I don't think you guys could have hired a better coach. It's good. It's really difficult to replace a legend like that. But if you take a look at, it's not like Washington had a bunch of 5-star recruits on their team, and they've obviously, I think the offense will. You guys are a little light in terms of maybe big name playmakers wide receiver compared to those years when you had, 3 or 4 first-rounders. But it seems to me he's got a pretty good system in play, and I wouldn't bet against him based on what we saw Washington do last year.
All right, Bob, appreciate the time. I'm only kidding. There is a time.
I know it's the last thing you thought it was going to happen, right? You're going to get a guy to.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I did want to dive into a little bit more of not necessarily just this Game 7 tonight, but the run as well. This has been fun to follow from afar, honestly, Bob. Yeah, put me in your shoes. To get ready for a Game 7 has got to be just yeah, exactly. That's the word.
So, the last 2 years, the Oilers were eliminated by the Stanley Cup champs. They lost to Colorado in round 3 a couple years ago, and last year they lost to Vegas in a series that they probably could have won. And you lose in a 6 or 7 game series, that's a coin flip in the NHL. That's just the way it works. The margins are tight. We have a salary cap. I grew up watching the Oilers of the 80s when they had, 7 Hall of Fame players, and they were the most electrifying, exciting team they ever played. But there were only 21 teams in the league back then, and 7 of them weren't really playing for keeps. And the Oilers were the dominant, organizational league from about 1982 to 1992. It's completely different now because of the salary cap. And we got a huge break. We won the lottery not once, but twice. We won the lottery in 2015 with Connor McDavid, but we also won it in 2014. And I say we because I work for the club.
Yeah.
The Oilers won it in 2014 when Leon Draisaitl fell to limit number 3. So they've been the 2 highest-scoring players in the league. And the perception was the problem with Edmonton is they were always just a team with those 2 star players and great power play. And as you guys know, because you know hockey, you need goaltending. You got to have this defensive structure and process in your game, and you got to have support because the top, your top forwards play somewhere between 20 to 22 minutes a game. It's not like basketball, where you can have, if you have 3 great players in basketball, you got a great chance to win because they play 4/5 of the game. That's not how hockey works. On November the 6th, the Oilers fell to 2-8-1. We were in Vancouver, and I sat down with our GM, Ken Holland, after the game that night, and he looked at me and said, it's crazy, Bob, with a few tweaks here, this team could still win. Here we are. We made the coaching change at 3-9-1, brought Chris Knobloch in, who years earlier the Oilers had assisted to get to Erie, where he coached Connor McDavid and Jerry in Erie in junior hockey. We hired Chris not from our farm team, but from another farm team in the league, which raised a lot of eyebrows. And the team went on a 24-3 run, including a 16-game winning streak. And, they've had a sense of belief. A lot of people didn't think they'd chase down. They were 31st on November the 11th. They were in 31st place that morning. Jeez. In the league out of 32 teams. And here we are playing in and just in the playoffs, you guys. They were down 2-1 and 3-2 to Vancouver.
Yeah.
They were down 2-1 to Dallas and down 2-0 in the first period at home in Game 4 against Dallas. And obviously, it's just ridiculous what they have the chance to do today. I mean, it hasn't happened since the Warriors, and with all due respect, it's a way bigger story today than back in 1942 and 1945 when the clubs came back from 3-0 down, because I think we were focused on a little bit different things back then.
So being here in the state of Alabama, I am used to some animosity. You mentioned Alabama-Auburn, some animosity. So that made me want to look in the Calgary newspaper. It is Calgary, not Calgary. Or you tell me. Have I been saying it wrong all this time?
No, you can call it. It's Calgary.
So
you should know that Alberta as a province, though, politically,
that's right.
It's a center-right province.
Yeah.
And because we got the oil and gas, right? Like we're a bit like Texas, but we don't have guns.
Yeah.
Because we don't need them. Because everybody grows up learning how to fight because they all play hockey with their kids. That's the joke I always tell people. So what are they saying in the Calgary papers?
They're not exactly rooting for the Oilers tonight. And so I kind of soaked it up with a biscuit because it just embracing that, it does feel like that there is a little angst just to the south of Edmonton there in Calgary but it's amazing to me because I would think most of Canada is rooting for the Oilers with the exception of one city.
I actually don't think that. Like, Vancouver is definitely not
really
cheering for the Oilers. They never won a cup. Calgary's won one in '89, and the only time they beat the Oilers was back in '86, and that's when Edmonton's defenseman scored on himself. That was the game-deciding goal in Game 7, right in the middle of the Oilers dynasty. And they turned around and won 2 more, 3 of the next 4 championships after that. So Edmonton did. So in Calgary and Vancouver, I don't expect them. Toronto, the joke about Toronto is, how do you change a light bulb in Canada? In Toronto, you hold it there and have the rest of Canada revolve around it. That's kind of how Toronto sees itself.
That's good.
And they want everybody to have, and there's a huge difference, probably just like your state. There's a huge difference between the rural parts. Alberta's got 5 million people, but we have a disproportionately low voting bloc federally. But we have equalization payments, and we have all the oil and gas. So Alberta taxpayers basically fund provinces like Quebec, and it's a major source of frustration, right? And so now, ironically enough, Montreal the team's a class team. Their fans are cheering for the Oilers. I don't think there's any question about that. But Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary wouldn't surprise me in the least if they're not cheering for the Oilers.
Well, one of the things I've always wanted to see has been, front and center during this, and that is singing the anthem there in Edmonton.
Gosh.
I can't imagine what that is like for you on a daily basis, Bob.
So here's how I would explain it. You guys get it, because you guys are in the cradle. Like, the Southeastern Conference is head and shoulders. But then that's the difference, right? Like, when an SEC team goes to the national championship, even though it's going to make things more difficult for the other schools to recruit against them, the other schools in the SEC are cheering for their conference. That's the difference here, right? But what I would say is Alabama at the college football level, Green Bay at the NFL level, and Edmonton at the NHL level. That's kind of how, I would sort of, there's nothing else here. Like, we have a CFL team, but the league's become irrelevant since the pandemic. It's nowhere near as good as it was when Warren Moon played in the league for 5 years. And at that time, veteran NFL players would come to a CFL year because I think they had to get a guaranteed salary slot after year 4, right? And so the Eskimos were an absolute powerhouse. They won 5 consecutive Grey Cups, 78, 82, and we had great players. Some of whom were good enough to be starting quarterback, like in Warren Moon's case. Go back to go to the NFL. They have to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Doug Flutie.
The league wasn't
comes to mind too.
They weren't like Conrich Holloway was the first.
Yeah.
Was he not the first black quarterback in the SEC at
That's
Tennessee?
right.
And he had to prove himself in Canada. Warren Moon, same thing. Now, of course, we give those opportunities to the Bryce Youngs right away when they come out of school and end up at Carolina. So, but and that's how I'd say it. Like, hockey in Canada, in Edmonton, is like the NFL in Green Bay or college football in Alabama. The only difference is Edmonton serves the northern reaches of the province in the oil and gas sector. So there's a lot of money here. They're not currently in Fort. Well, actually, there's a lot of it. There's probably 2,000 Edmontonians that have flown, or northern Albertans that have flown down. You're going to see a lot of Oilers jerseys. They're buying tickets up at $2,500, $3,000 US, and not even blinking because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, but having visited Miami several times, it is a passionate fan base, but I'm not sure.
It's not close.
No, absolutely not. No, it really isn't.
Recognize them as a team
when
in
you
their own
have
city.
to get on a bus off the Bright Line just to get to the arena, that kind of tells me what I need to know about the level of importance there. It felt like the Heat were a big deal, especially when LeBron was there. But even this back-to-back scenario here for the Panthers, it felt to me like forechecking has been a big deal in this series. Is that fair to say?
Forechecking?
Forechecking, yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that Florida was successful early in the series. They got first of all, Sergei Bobrovsky had a .980 save percentage
that helps
through the first 8 periods of the series, right? He stopped 78 out of 80 shots.
Yeah.
Then the Oilers started to figure him out a bit. Florida they have a physical team with a real identity, and they're aggressive on the forecheck, but against a team like that, you got to run zone defense. There's a reason why zone defense started in the NFL, and that's because nobody could cover Bob Hayes, so they had to drop the two safeties back instead of leaving a corner out there by himself. There's a reason zone defense was outlawed in the NBA. That's because it worked. And there's a reason why it slowly worked its way to the NHL, because there's a little bit of a Canadian arrogance to how the game is supposed to be played, and everybody played man. But the Oilers, Boston, Vegas, they play zone. And when you do play zone defense and you're being heavily forechecked, you got to use the middle of the ice in transition. And the Oilers have gotten better than that as the series has gone on. They've come in and they've got pretty good center. They got a guy named David, who I think is the best player currently in major team sports on the planet.
Is he the Conn Smythe winner, win or lose tonight?
Yes,
Yeah.
win or lose.
Yeah.
When the only two players that have had more points than you in the playoffs are Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
And if you do era-adjusted scoring, Connor's actually outscored them. Tells you everything you need to know. We've never seen a guy this fast with that much skill. And the only thing I could sort of relate it to, and I'm going to mention an Auburn guy here, is when Bo Jackson was as good as Herschel Walker was at Georgia. Bo Jackson was more explosive and more dynamic.
Yeah.
And you guys, you watch the highlights. To me, he's the greatest college running back of all time. And, the fact that that guy couldn't go better than, 9-3 or 9-4 or 10-3, and he had that horse in the backfield, it's unbelievable. But McDavid it's a team sport, and they finally built a supporting cast around them. Their penalty killing has been unbelievable. They've killed off 47 of the last 48 shorthanded situations over the last 16 games. They've outscored teams while being down in that 3-1 in the last 16 games. It's a huge part of the reason why they've been able to extend, their run here in the playoffs in the Game 7.
So the final question for me, Bob, is how many conversations to Paul Kennedy do you have that are football related and not hockey related?
Sorry, with who?
Paul Kennedy, the Lightning TV play-by-play man, the former Bama play-by-play man.
I know the Lightning. A couple of guys. I know that the Lightning used to have a radio guy that did their pre and post game show.
Yeah.
And he was an Alabama grad. So I'll be honest. 2 years ago, the Oilers playing Vegas in a regular season game. It would have been 21-22. It's when we started traveling. So we didn't travel in the 2021 season because we had a government overreach in terms of restrictions and that sort of thing. You know how that goes. But we traveled again in 21-22, and the Iron Bowl was on while the Oilers were playing Vegas. And my play-by-play guy that night, he did the first period by himself because I was watching the shootout. John Mechie, we call it shootout in hockey, but you guys went to overtime, and you went to 2-point plays, and Mechie ended up winning it for you. Bryce Young after the Crimson Tide. I think it was a 10-3 game, and they converted
I was there.
a couple.
I was on the sideline.
Remember that
Robert
game?
Mechie scored. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. So I was watching. That's all you need. So in the fall, on Saturdays, we don't have our game on in the radio booth. We have college football on in the radio booth, and on Sunday we have NFL on. And we've had engineers, and they've gone to turn it to the hockey, and we're like, "What the hell are you doing? We're at this game. We can see this game. Keep that college game on." And my play-by-play partner Jack Michaels is from Western Pennsylvania, so. Actually, my midget AA coach, or my midget AA center in hockey is the head coach at Penn State now, Guy Gadowski.
Yeah.
So, we don't speak glowingly of Penn State's program, obviously, because of what happened with Sandusky. But the reality is there's a heavy college football and NFL, and all of my fantasy football team, you guys, every single player I have in skill positions is an Alabama player.
Well, you can do it. I mean, you can do it.
You can do it.
That is not a problem.
Right.
So Bob, just to let you know, I call.
You could do it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call the local professional team the Huntsville Havoc. We're in the SPHL, and the other broadcasters are all locked in hockey. But I'm right there with you because I'm the fly in the ointment.
Steve will give you a football score.
I'll just
basketball.
I'll have other stuff on my laptop, like a football game, like you. So it's nice to know I'm not the only one doing that.
Well, it's a privilege to call games in the NHL, but you still are allowed to have passion in other sports. So like I said, Zach Hyman he's got 16 goals in the playoffs. It's the most in the last 28 years. Jeez. And he's a Michigan grad, and I lost the bet, and the boys were, but even the players afterwards. I think he went to overtime, man. There's no embarrassment. Your team played great. Like, my team played great. Alabama should have won the game. Michigan was lucky. So you'd be amazed. So guys, like, they'll sit there on the plane and come up and talk about, because they love sports too. That's the nature of athletes, right? They like other sports, and all the guys that played at the NCAA schools in hockey, most of them played in the Big Ten, but they have a tremendous amount of respect for how good some of the programs are, and they know how good the SEC is. Georgia and Alabama and LSU can pop up, and Auburn has a good team. The only one that doesn't is Vanderbilt, but they have no chance because their academic requirements are a little bit.
They're still cashing checks, though, Bob. Yeah. Well,
absolutely.
But, Bob, I cannot tell you, there's a lot of people that would be jealous of being in your shoes. I'm one of them. To be in a Game 7 of this magnitude, just soak it up and enjoy it tonight, and can't thank you enough for hopping on with us.
Hey, anytime, you guys, just remember, when you're privileged enough to win in sports, win or lose, we're still going to be in the booze.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very accurate. Thank you, Bob. Have a good call tonight.
See you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Forgot to get him to say about.
I thought I still had him on there. And Roll Tide. We forgot to tell him to say one Roll Tide before you leave.
Yeah. Can we get it in a boot? But Game 7 tonight. So is this going to just go right to the top of the hour? Is that what we're doing here? This is, after all, the Thom Abraham Show. So that'll do it for hour number 1.
I mean, I thought that was a great conversation. We just don't get that enough. And I was actually surprised that I even scored him before the Stanley Cup. I mean, I literally saw a video of him yesterday just getting off the flight, rolling up, and he was doing one of those pre-game walk-ups, you know what I mean? He had a video and everything. So, I mean, Bob's big time, and to get all that history and everything like that outside of it, that's pretty cool.
That was fun. That was a fun conversation. The fact that he's watching SEC football while calling an NHL game makes me want to talk to my other SPHL brethren and say, see, it's not just me.
Yeah.
It's not just me, because I get these evil looks, these death stares of, you're not a hockey guy. Yeah, I am.
The Just for Pros event at Lowe's is back. Check out special savings on the toughest tools, handpicked for pros. Buy one Metabo HPT 36-volt battery starter kit, get a select Bear tool free. And save on the DeWalt Tough Grip 110-piece drill driver bit set. Was $49.98, now just $29.98. Shop in-store, online, or on the Lowe's app and pick up in-store. While supplies last, valid 1/17/22 through 1/28/22. U.S. only.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, breaking NBA news from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. The Cavaliers are hiring Warriors top assistant Kenny Atkinson as their next head coach. The side's expected to reach a deal soon. Pelicans associate head coach James Borrego, who was a candidate for the Cleveland job, now expected to become a prominent candidate in the Pistons coaching search. Megastar Connor McDavid and the Oilers on the verge of pulling off one of the biggest comebacks in sports history. With a win against Florida in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight, Edmonton will become only the second NHL team ever to rally from a 3-0 deficit to win a championship series. The other, the Maple Leafs, in 1942. Game 7 coverage, 8 Eastern, ABC, and ESPN+. Mets closer Edwin Diaz facing a 10-game suspension from Major League Baseball for having an illegal substance on his pitching hand last night. He can appeal the suspension.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have a solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation. Walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
Online?
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
It's Game Day Men's Health, not your average men's clinic.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Experience Alabama's Super Speedway on the water as Gunners of Lake Hydrofest returns June 29th and 30th. Catch 2 days of fast-paced action as drivers chase speed records on the South's fastest water. 5 classes of race boats will compete, including the H1 Unlimiteds, with speeds pushing up to 200 miles an hour. You won't want to miss this summer's most exciting event on Gunners of Lake. More than just boat racing, the event venue includes kids' water slides, food trucks, custom motorcycles and Jeeps, and interactive displays. Tickets start at just $15 a day for a day pass and $5 for children ages 6 to 12. 5 and under are free, making it the perfect weekend for families. Thursday night, June 27th, head to the City Harbor at 6 p.m. for the ultimate street party, where you can get up close and personal with drivers and race boats and grab team merchandise. The best way to kick off your Hydrofest weekend. Gunners of Lake Hydrofest. Come see it for yourself. More information at GunnersofLakeHydrofest.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
It is hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show, along with Chad Gwathney. Steve Moulton back here with you. Where were you in 2008? Well, 2008 is the last time this has happened. And yes, it's college football related. What is similar to 2008? Alabama has better odds not making the playoffs than making the playoffs. It's the first time since 2008 that is happening. It is a slight difference. A no is at a minus 145. A yes is at a plus 115. So it's slight, but that immediately made me think, so they're keeping it at 4 teams, right? This is not an expanded playoffs. Half the roster must have left. So, I say that to also say Bruce Feldman came out with his projected what the playoff is going to look like. And again, I know the last time I filled in, I played a little bit from Reese Davis and Pete Thamel of just remember, college football fans, it's the top 4 conference champions that get the top 4 seeds. So that final Sunday, when it comes in December, right after we're done with the championship games, that just because, say, Clemson's 7 and they win the ACC championship, all of a sudden you're going to see them as a 3 seed or a 4 seed, and your mind's going to explode. Anyway, again, that's just a public service announcement. This is what Feldman has in his bracket. He has Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Florida State 3, and Utah 4. And all of a sudden you're thinking Utah 4, and all of a sudden I'm remembering past press conferences from a certain former Auburn coach who's down at Central Florida who got really excited about this because if you think about it, if Gus gets hot and has a team capable of winning their conference championship, he's guaranteed a bye in the college football playoff. So here's the rest of Feldman's bracket. I mentioned Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Florida State 3, Utah 4. The 5 seed, he has that being Texas. Texas playing Texas playing Memphis in the 5-12 game. The 8-9 matchup, Notre Dame and Alabama. Alabama being the 9 seed, so that means Bama would be on the road at South Bend. 7 seed is Ole Miss taking on 10 seed Penn State. And the 6 seed is Oregon taking on 11 seed Miami. Miami.
I don't know about that.
That means he is thinking Miami's going to beat Florida right out of the gate. Because I'm telling you this, if Miami does not beat Florida right out of the gate, they're not an 11 seed.
No.
They are definitely not an 11 seed.
No.
So
might be the 11th best team in your conference.
So heading into media days, I've got a couple opinions, and I'm starting to read up more on this. You tell me if I'm crazy or not. Right now, my top tier, the 2 teams that I think they're going to play in Atlanta are Texas and Ole Miss. I've got Texas and Ole Miss just because I have more questions about Georgia defensively than I have questions about Ole Miss defensively. I think Texas is as rock solid as a team that you can have on paper right now.
I think you have the quarterback, you have a really solid offensive line, an offensive line that I think I've heard 2 people talk about before that's like more confident than they have been in the years past as a fan base for Texas. So for sure, if you can get that right, you've got weapons all over the place. Ole Miss offensively, yes, but it is still Ole Miss, and I get it. And it's like whether they can look improved on defense, it's still what will Lane Kiffin do? Yeah. What will that defense do? And what will they do on the road? I think they'll play really well at home. I just wonder how they will fare on the road and getting through the rest of the gauntlet.
But just keep in mind, you're going to have to reprogram your brain this year because you want to be in the top 4.
Right.
If you're in the top 4, you have, especially if you're 4,
right,
you still have a legitimate argument of getting into the college football playoff. So in my top 4, I mentioned Ole Miss, Texas. I'll put Alabama and Georgia.
So just to get in the playoff.
Just to get into the playoff. Missouri is that one team. If it's a big if.
Yeah.
If they could possibly beat Bama at Bama, I think that's week 9.
Well, here in a little bit, you'll hear that the comparison of Tony.
That's why I'm bringing this up.
Compared to Missouri.
That's why I'm bringing
this
up.
And a certain European team. Where
do we need to take a break now, or?
No, I think we're good. I could get them on the other side when we go. Yeah, but no, it is definitely something that, I could see Missouri, being that team on the fringe.
Then you've got this.
What is
Auburn
offensively?
You've got there you go. There's that hodgepodge in the middle, and I've been covering this way too long not to look at Auburn because the quieter people are around Auburn. This is year 2 for Hugh Freeze. This is year 2 for Peyton Thorne. We know who's calling plays this year. We don't have to worry about that. And you've got an elite play caller there in Hugh Freeze. DJ Durkin coming in on the defensive side. It feels like things are lining up. I'm not saying Auburn a playoff team. That middle hodgepodge that you have teams like, I'll put Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Auburn, Tennessee, LSU. Is there any team out of Mississippi State? No. Arkansas? No. South Carolina? No. Kentucky?
But to be on that fringe, I'd put A&M a little bit more over Kentucky still.
Yeah.
Like, even with the question marks at A&M and everything that's gone around A&M, they're still talented. And I still think Elko's going to make them play really well. I just don't know so much about Kentucky. Just having weapons to do something to get you there.
Vandergriff is a very talented player.
Right.
The transfer from Georgia. He is the starting quarterback for Kentucky this fall. I've been burned too many times. I've put my hand on that stove too many times to get burned again by Kentucky.
If you're looking to throw Kentucky at 3 or 4 every single year and put your money on that, that's what you're looking at.
Well, there's no more divisions.
But that's what I'm saying.
No more divisions.
Okay, so now with no more divisions, we'll say probably 10th or 11th.
So
every
down
year.
At the bottom certainly is Vanderbilt. Right above Vanderbilt,
Carolina.
I'm leaning Arkansas,
Yeah.
and I hate that for Sam because it's an important year for him.
Shane Decatur too. I said South Carolina is bottom, second to least.
How is Beamer Ball not on the hot seat? If it really feels like they're in the lower tier.
Yeah,
but it's
because it's like,
but that
Vandy,
middle
Carolina,
hodgepodge,
Arkansas,
that middle
right at the bottom.
You could argue Florida,
yeah,
as hard as their schedule is, might be in that middle hodgepodge along with LSU. And I've got big questions on LSU.
I'm not a big Graham Mertz fan. I've never been a Graham Mertz fan. I honestly got burned. Like, you talking about getting burned, I thought he was going to be really good for Wisconsin. He's been on, his third team now. He's a 6th year, 7th year senior.
Yeah.
It's like he has injury problems too. He's really not it's like a professional quarterback that you have on contract and you can't get rid of him, and so you have to play him. That's what I feel like Graham Mertz as a quarterback is in college football, where it's just like you have to play him. There's no one really better for them. And I just don't know how much better Florida is with him. So I just think that Billy Napier, if this is the time to just get him out of there, he needs to get out of there, because it's just – I don't think he's going to get it right with that quarterback, or just the way that I feel like everything's against him. I feel like ever since he took the job, obviously, I feel like it's always been against him to try to be that best coach in Florida. So
a couple of things are about to happen around college football. On3.com as well as the NCAA.org put out a press release saying that the Division I Council is going to vote on unlimited college football coaching staff size. So this is happening. We've all had the jokes and the snickers of how big the staff size was under Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa and the rehabilitation program and blah, blah, blah. This is just going to come down, boys and girls, to money, of what certain universities can afford compared to others. Because the other thing that's happening, and it is going to happen, is putting a cap on a roster, and meaning how many scholarships you can offer. So I've been told 2 different times, and it is what it is, that they're going to cap it at a certain number. I keep hearing 95, that they're going to cap it at 95, but if universities can afford more, that they'll allow those opportunities, i.e. walk-ons. So this is a chance for universities to keep walk-ons if they can pay to play the walk-ons, so they're really not walk-ons.
Yeah, it's like we need to go to a break soon to get to Tony, but it's kind of like how they do it in the MLS with MLS Next Pro too. It's like you have to have a guy in your area.
Yeah.
Like you can't sign so many international players. You can't sign so many. You have to have so many local players, and I think that would be the best about college football, to make it that much more even, is to have those types of players.
Well, this is why I asked you if I should have gone to a break before I went off on that rant.
No, he hasn't said anything. We're fine.
Okay.
We haven't pushed anything. So.
All right. Well,
but yeah.
Tony Sakalas is set to join us. We're going to talk hockey with Tony. I'm kidding. Since we talked college football with Bob, Tony Sakalas is going to join us on the other side. It is the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Just for Pros event at Lowe's is back. Check out special savings on the toughest tools, handpicked for pros. Buy one Metabo HPT 36-volt battery starter kit, get a select Bear tool free. And save on the DeWalt Tough Grip 110-piece drill driver bit set. Was $49.98, now just $29.98. Shop in-store, online, or on the Lowe's app and pick up in-store. While supplies last, valid 1/17/22 through 1/28/22. U.S. only.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. samplesproperties.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and Twitch. Just search 97.7 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here on the Thom Abraham Show. for those of you that are out and about, I have been consuming more and more radio on YouTube than I've ever have in my life. And we are a part of that YouTube phenomenon. In fact, Michael Weeks, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I know who that is.
I'm looking
I know
at
who
you.
that is.
You can give us a few chats as well, but it's time to chat up a little Alabama right now, Chad Gwathney, since you booked the interview.
Yeah.
Please.
What better way? What better way to have Tony Tsoukalas? We haven't had him on this program in quite a while. I think a lot of times I'll try to reach out to him just to see what's going on.
Well, you knew Thom wasn't here,
and
so he was like, okay.
Yeah, he'll definitely join
I'm
when
in.
Tom's not on. He's like, oh, my gosh, yes, I'm right on board. But to talk about the latest news around the Crimson Tide, and, you know, we've been talking hockey, so why don't we just talk something different, too? We'll talk a little soccer with Tony Tsoukalas, the managing editor from Tide Illustrated and Rivals. Man, great to have you on. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, of course.
So, we were just kind of getting a kick at this article that you had kind of comparing some of these SEC teams to European football clubs, or I'm sorry, soccer clubs, as we say.
Footy.
We do say FC here in Huntsville. So,
yeah, come on now.
Just kind of break down what made you kind of like have that, and just what kind of came about of that.
Well, I was thinking, it's the dog days of summer, right?
Right. I saw that
don't
cucumber drink too. I need to hear about.
Yeah. So for the drink, I always have this comes from my column, so I always have a drink of the week. So that's kind of like not related to what we're talking about, but it's a cool little drink of the week there. I have a little partnership with Session Cocktails here in Tuscaloosa, and free radio space for them, but they're the best at what they do in the cocktails, so I always like to promote them. But no, for the European soccer, I was thinking of trying to come up with a column idea. I had done this 3 years ago for the last Euros. I'm a big soccer fan myself, and I just figured do it again. I started talking with my coworker Jack Moulton, who's a soccer fan himself, and I kept on like coming up with another new one, and then I said, screw it, we'll go for it, and we'll make it the column. So this year, 3 years ago, I did it across college football. This year, I did it for every SEC team, so it's a little bit more, even more local. It was fun to do. Ironically, Alabama got the same team it got 3 years ago, which was Germany. But yeah, it was fun kind of matching SEC teams to their European soccer counterparts.
He said Alabama and Germany have long feared for their machine-like precision and ruthlessness on the field, and both have been the intimidation factor here recently. And yeah, I mean, I totally get it. I remember when they won the World Cup, and they literally built that team. I mean, that team was a bunch of kids that they basically bred to be soccer giants, and on top of the core that they had, they ended up winning the World Cup, and then I feel like they kind of fell off after that, but then they're trying to do that again, where it's like kind of like Alabama did that with a dynasty for so long, then get back into it again, then have it again with another coach. And I mean, there's so many similarities in that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at so Alabama, right? You lose Nick Saban. I think a lot of people are just expecting them to fall off. And you look at Germany, and Germany hasn't gotten past the group stage in the last two World Cups, and so you're like, oh, is Germany dead? And I think you have the same kind of, is this powerhouse dead narrative around both teams. And really, when you look at it, I mean, look, Germany's the host nation for the Euros, and Alabama's got you wouldn't call them the favorites, but I mean, they've got a decent chance when it comes to winning a national title. So they're both kind of still favorites, and there's both a narrative around are they dead? But in the same spot, in the same breath, you wouldn't be surprised if either of them came away with the title in their sports. And so that's why I kind of used those two and matched those two together.
Well, one that you got, I'm sorry, I was just saying one that, go ahead, Steve.
The fact that you went Albania for Vanderbilt it's beautiful. It is just, that had to be the easiest one of all of these teams.
Yeah. I was struggling for I was thinking, what am I going to compare to Vanderbilt? And then I was just
Macedonia or something.
Yeah, they have to be in. My thing was they had to be in the current Euros, right?
Yeah, right.
It
okay, I got
a team that was decent enough to make the the tournament. I couldn't, I couldn't have.
No, it would have been better had it been some obscure country, Tony.
Right? Yeah, I could have done that and just said that neither of them were really competing in their actual tournament. But I just picked a team that I knew wasn't going to win, and one team that you really don't. Not a lot of people know anybody on them because I don't really. I mean, I'm not even well versed. I cover college football. I'm not even really well versed in what Vanderbilt has this year. So.
Well, I'll say this. One of your best ones that you got perfect was LSU and Belgium, because to compare Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr. to Eden Hazard, Romelu Lukaku, and Kevin De Bruyne, oh my gosh. I mean, the only thing that's really stopping Lukaku is VAR. I mean, that's what's really stopping him from being an amazing player. But yes, to waste so much good talent for those many years with those good, those talented that year with talented players. I mean, that's LSU in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, look, and once again, still a team that theoretically could win this year. They've got talent, and they'll be in that kind of contender, but you're not expecting them to. I mean, it looks like they've already missed their window. So that's that was the logic behind that one. A lot of talent. You think they would have done more with it. Granted, LSU did win a title with Joe Burrow, so it's maybe not, I mean, it's not as dire as Belgium, who has done nothing with their talent. But I like that one. I personally, the ones I was the most high on, I think, just looking back, was I really like Texas and England. I think you got two people that really should do they should be the favorites.
They should
right?
be winning.
But,
they should.
And
yeah.
they both like themselves a lot.
There's that cloud about Texas, right? There's that cloud about Texas that you're just man, they're going to screw it up somehow, aren't they? They're going to do something dumb and ruin it for themselves. And it's the same thing with England, right? England has, England and France have the two best teams. You expect France to do it, and I compared France to Georgia, which is a team that's probably they're going to do well. If they don't win, they'll come in second. With England and Texas too, it's they might win it, and I think it'd be smart to pick them maybe to win it, but then at the same time they can easily just screw it all up. And the thing I like about that one is they both have a meme worthy saying. You've got it's coming home for England, and they always say it's coming home, and it never is. The same thing with is Texas back? Is Texas back? And it never seems that Texas is actually back. So I like that comparison on those two. And the other one that sneaky good in my opinion, not to toot my own horn, but is Auburn and Italy, because
yes.
you look at two teams that when Auburn wants to be good, it is great, and they're the opposite of maybe an LSU. They don't waste their talent, or or I think I mentioned Texas A&M and compared them to Serbia. They don't waste their talent at Auburn. When they have good years, they're good years, and they do something with them. But then they have some clankers in between, and that's kind of what Italy does. Italy won the last Euros, but they've missed out on the last two World Cups. It's just, you would think that if you could win the Euro, then you'd be a slam dunk to make the World Cup, and that's not the case with Italy. So I think that was a good one with them and Auburn. Two teams that if you catch them hot, you don't want to play them, but then most of the time you can just roll over them.
How about Tennessee and Spain? How was that a tough one to pull there for the Vols?
Yeah, so Spain is another one of those guys that I think 3 years ago I gave Spain to Texas because another wasted you're going to waste your talent and you think that you're better than you are. But I feel like Texas is kind of advanced past that. And the reason why I went Spain with Tennessee is they both got young. Yeah, Spain's got a very young front line. It's got some of the best players, in the upcoming thing. And then you look at some of the young offensive power that Tennessee is going to have with their quarterback. It just kind of paired really nicely. You could have you don't know, but you could have the future best player in the sport on both of those teams, depending on how things shake out. So they got a lot of excitement. They could win this year. One of those things, you could put Tennessee in that contender. Since we did SEC, I'm counting winning as winning the SEC.
Yeah.
So I mean, you wouldn't be totally shocked if Spain won. You wouldn't be totally shocked if Tennessee won the SEC. They're in that range. So I like that one too.
I was surprised over the weekend reading a little bit from ESPN Bet, a little off subject, the fact that Bama has you can make more money. It's a slight difference that Bama has better odds not to make the playoffs than to make the playoffs. That surprised me a little bit, Tony.
Yeah, that's surprising, too, because I just don't see them doing it. But I think that's an indication of just how strong the SEC is. Like, I brought up a lot of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you start looking at, there's a chance LSU catches fire. There's a chance Tennessee catches fire. We didn't even talk about Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, there's a lot of teams, and, like it is an expanded playoff, but at some point you got to draw a line. So I guess I could see, where it's still going to be hard to make it. And there's a lot of optimism about Alabama, but there are still some question marks. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback position. Is it going to continue to progress, or are they going to kind of plateau? There were times where you kind of really question what it's going to look like with Jalen Milroe, but then there's also times where you could think, man, if this guy puts it together, which you see that improvement in year two. If he's able to kind of do that, I think he could be one of the best players in college football.
Yeah.
At the same time, but there still is a question mark there, question marks at the tackle position. So I guess I kind of see that. I have Alabama at 10-2, and I really don't see them slipping past 9-3.
Yeah.
But I see Alabama closer to being 12-0 than I do 8-4. If we're going to go on that scale, right?
Yeah.
I have them at 10-2, but I'm closer to, giving them a couple wins than I am taking a couple of wins away.
So I'm trying to reprogram my brain into a tier system of you need to be in that top 4 to have a shot at the playoffs. And I've got Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama in my top tier. Am I missing anybody in your top 4?
You're missing the number one team,
Texas.
Right? Ohio State.
No. I meant just SEC.
Oh, we're just talking SEC.
Just SEC.
The SEC. I was going to say, you definitely
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would say, what did you say? You said so Texas and Georgia,
Ole
I think
Miss,
are your...
Alabama, and Georgia.
Yeah, I think that's probably, if you could, depending on where you want to draw the line, I think that's probably, Texas and Georgia probably start at that tier 1 stage, maybe just because there's less question marks around them. And then I think it's weird because I kind of want to put Alabama in a slightly higher tier than Ole Miss, but then they're kind of same in the same tier. Ole Miss still has a lot of the question marks too. They have a lot of talent, but we still haven't really seen them do it yet. So
That's fair.
I think that's one of those things where I think it's real sexy to say Alabama falls off, and it's also really sexy to say that Ole Miss this is their year, and it's just we've never seen Ole Miss do it. They have the pieces. They also have to deal with the pressure of having those pieces, and we've seen Alabama have some great teams. That's one of the things too when I look at Ohio State. Kind of changing the subject a little bit, but you see these teams, and there's a lot of pressure of having that team with a target on its back, and some teams aren't used to playing with it. But I would have Alabama and Ole Miss in that maybe second tier. If I was rating them, I would go Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, and I think it's really close between. I still think it's pretty close between Texas and Alabama because I kind of maybe I'm high on Alabama just because I'm around it so much, but I definitely think we could see another Georgia-Alabama SEC championship game.
Talking to Tony Sakalis right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Well, since you brought up the Ohio State University, what did you think of Ryan Day's comments about Caleb Downs potentially being a tailback?
Yeah, look, he can do with the ball in his hands. So you can't really doubt that. I missed that. When did he say that?
Oh, here you go. Here is last week. This is Ryan Day on his running back position.
We felt like coming out of the spring that James and Sam both did a nice job. And, we're going to have to play them, and they're going to have to, take on a little bit of that. We have, started having conversations with Caleb Downs. That was part of the recruiting process of possibly, doing a little bit of running back as well. It's something that he wanted to do. So we've been having him in some of the meetings and some of the individual drills as a possibility there if, needed so down the road to continue to build depth at that position.
That is a little bit of Ryan Day from last week, Tony.
I don't buy it. It's surprising that he's serious. I thought he was making a joke about Caleb Downs. I mean, could Caleb Downs have the athleticism to do it? Then sure, but I mean that's kind of a I think that's kind of an insult to the best running back room and what I would call one of the best running back rooms, at least the top two in the nation, with Henderson and Judkins. I mean, like you're gonna play a defensive player at a position he's never played in college when you have those two guys. I mean, if that's what they took to take, if that's what it took to take Caleb Downs to Ohio State, I think he's going to be unhappy. I still think that might just be like a way to maybe. It's really easy to talk about that kind of stuff, and it sounds really cool in the summer. I doubt it. But, if Ohio State's putting Caleb Downs at running back, I think there's something wrong. If for what unless it's just a pad, maybe a Heisman.
Or it's like Ryan Day can't coach.
That's not. I thought at first when he told me that he was like saying it because.
The little caveat to that was the recruitment part. When he said that we talked about it in recruiting, it was like, oh, so we're just going to make up stuff and really not do it.
I mean, look, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terry Arnold were both offered basketball scholarships at Alabama, and that was the biggest joke there ever was. So, they were never going to play for the basketball team. So whatever you got to do, I guess, to get a kid interested. If Caleb Downs is worried about playing running back when he could be the best defensive player in college football and all his money is there in the NFL at the safety position, I don't know why. If I'm Caleb Downs, I don't even want to play running back. That just seems like, why would I do that? Why would I risk those reps on my body when I'm, 2 years away from being a top 10, top 5 pick? I mean, I wouldn't be an anti-recruiting pitch if they came up to me. If I'm Caleb Downs, I'd say, look, are you guys stupid? I came here to play defense. But I don't know, man. Maybe they'll have a package, I mean, maybe they can throw to him out of the backfield. Like I said, he can play it. I mean, I think that, he's a super athletic kid. I think that the reason why that's such a ludicrous statement is how good he is, and he almost felt kind of bad, risking him on those punt returns. Imagine, lining him up in a position where he's, going to have to take hard hits. But it just doesn't necessarily make sense. But like I said, I don't believe it. I think that was one of those things that you say in June, and then when September comes around, you're like, well. And then you're going to start hearing about how good their running backs are.
We are 1 week away from officially the SEC flipping over to 16 teams. Do you think we're going to calm down for a minute, or do you think there's going to be more movement coming up here in the next 2 years or so?
I think we already did that, though, right? Isn't spring meetings
Well, July 1st is technically the welcome day. July 1st is technically the welcome day.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, look, I probably, I mean, at this point, the way things are going, just make it a college football North and a college football South, and just rebrand the Big Ten to the North Division and the, SEC to the South Division, and you can just split up the teams accordingly.
Yeah.
I guess maybe there'd be some since they already have USC in the Big Ten, and they'd still be North, even though they're in LA. But
NFC, AFC
split it up the way that they used to do it in the blue gray game or whatever it was. What was the college all-star game where you had the North versus the South or whatever? Probably don't go lean into as much Civil War stuff as they did there, but same concept of
years
splitting
ago.
It up. Yeah.
So to circle back, who do you like in the World Cup moving forward?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm a huge Man United fan, so I just really want our players to do well. But there's not a lot of them really there. They all got hurt. So I guess go Denmark and Portugal. It's hard not to pick France. I think France is the best team. A lot of times the best team doesn't win though. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those kind of surprise teams, maybe a Spain if they get hot. I don't think it'll be England. There's too much around that team. I guess if you had to gun to head, I'd go France. Maybe even Germany, because it's at it's in Germany, and I think Germany has a good team. But I'll go with Spain just because I want to go out on a limb, and that's kind of a fun one to pick. I don't think they have the best odds, but if they've got a team, I think it could do stuff.
So this means you really like the Vols to be playing in Atlanta coming up in December. Is this what you're breaking news right now?
If anyone on Tide Illustrated is listening, Germany's going to win. Don't worry.
That would be the Alabama reference right there. He did not say Italy. For my Auburn faithful out there, he did not say Italy.
Tom would have hated that.
Yeah, that's. I don't think it's an Italy/Auburn year this year. You know, and that's another thing I forgot to mention that. Yeah, so the other part of that comparison too is you got like an Italian team that has like everything you want except for someone that can put it in the net.
Yeah.
You know, this year that's kind of what
I feel like they've had that every single year, even when they had Giuseppe Rossi as one of their best strikers, and he could have played for America and all this other stuff, and he didn't, and then he ended up playing for Italy, and it wasn't anything. He wasn't really that great for them, and they've always lacked that. I feel like I think it's just the style of play they play. Yeah,
but then you've got Auburn, who's got like a lot of talent, right? Is Peyton Thorne the goal scorer? Is he the quarterback they need? You know, I mean, so like it's kind of the same thing where you got talented teams, but they're missing probably the most important piece of the team. So, you know, I mean, Italy can make a run. Auburn, theoretically, I mean, if Peyton Thorne wants to wake up and become an elite quarterback, then why would you know, then you might be able to start throwing Auburn's name in some of these conversations. I don't think Peyton Thorne's an elite quarterback, and I don't think it's going to be a great year for Auburn. Yeah, the same thing with Italy. I think that they'll look, you know, competitive in a lot of games, and they just won't win them.
Tony, always appreciate the time, sir, and look forward to seeing you in the Big D coming up because everything revolves around Texas now that they're in the SEC.
Definitely. It'll be fun, you know, it'll be fun that, you know, we'll be having a lot more stuff in Texas. Like I actually won't be at the SEC Media Day. We'll send in somebody else, but I'm happy that anytime, I'm a Texas native. I'm from just north of Houston, so I'll love to get over there as much as I can. I'm looking forward to having those trips to Austin as well in the future. So I really enjoyed that last time they did that. So, yeah, I'm all for it.
Well, I am going to accidentally sneak over to the MLB All-Star game because it's right there in Arlington. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you're paying like $1 million at a hotel, too, because I don't know why they would schedule events on the same week for both. But yikes.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy to say that our owner bought a rental house, so we're
okay. High rollers over here.
Yeah.
Just go, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. Forget the hotel. We'll just go buy a house.
Yeah.
That must be nice, man.
Yeah. As long as he sets it up, I'm good with that. But Tony,
I can't
thank you enough for hopping on and enjoy not covering the SEC Media Days because we're going to get more questions of, are you afraid of a lawsuit like we had down in Destin?
Of course, yeah. We'll have a lot of that, you know. But it'll be still nice to have something, you know, instead of the radio sounds we have in the dead of summer right now.
Tony, appreciate it, sir.
Yep, anytime.
That is Tony Sakalis. You can follow him on X at Tony_Sakalis. Spell it just like it sounds. I'm only kidding. You'd want to Google Sakalis.
You kind of can. Sukkalis. I mean, if you didn't know the T was silent, Soukla. I mean, you would probably say C if you were trying to sell it, and you would forget the T. But yeah.
Do you want to take a break now, or do we want to take phone calls now? What do you want to do?
We should probably take a break now. Okay. We're pulling some Toms right now, but it's okay.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. It is the Thom Abraham Show. He is out this entire week. I'll be gone tomorrow.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Valley Equipment Rental has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year and is adding more and more equipment to their already impressive fleet. Valley is a locally owned family equipment rental business serving the entire Tennessee Valley. They concentrate on the local contractors, building repeat business and specializing in long-term rentals for their local contractors. The benefit of long-term rental is that they stay on top of their assets. If something you own goes down in the field, you have to stop and fix it before you can finish the job. With Valley Equipment Rental, they will fix it on site or bring you another machine while that one's being fixed. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and asking for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are a grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and this summer we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville,
Gunners Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunners Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunners Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunners Landing's club repair shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunners Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
College football.
The ball is caught. It is a touchdown.
Major League Baseball.
That ball is gone. A home run.
This is your place for complete sports coverage all year long. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Back here with you on the Tom Abraham Show. Don't forget the drive. It'll be live from Woody Anderson Ford today, but it is shortened because Game 3 of a best-of-3 between the Aggies and Volunteers on this date in sports history. How about this one? In 2018, Harry Kane scores a hat trick to help England beat Panama. 6-1 was that final score. Also on this date in sports history, I do have somewhere I'm going here. Back in 2004, Atlanta Christian Academy power forward Dwight Howard was the first pick by the Orlando Magic. Okay, so the NBA draft is a 2-day event coming up this week. So the NBA, if you're a media personality or whatever, you get access to these reports. I'm showing it to the camera right now. And if you notice, I've pulled up Bronny James. So what is the sell job here for Bronny James, who averaged 4.8 points a game last year? 4.8. All right, so there's 4 different bullet points for Bronny James. And by the way, the last one is son of LeBron.
Yeah.
So let's just
forget all the rest of
it. Okay, so his main selling point was he was 16 for 60 from beyond three-point range. 16 of 60 beyond three-point. That's your big sell job. Here's the second one. He played in 25 games as a freshman at USC. That's his second one. He played in 25 games. His third one, McDonald's All-American out of high school. It didn't say a word about college. It says a McDonald's All-American out of high school. And son of LeBron James. So that is your
all the other stuff's out the window. Nobody cares.
That is your big sell job there from Bronny James by the association. By the way, I've been looking more at Sarr, the France wonder.
Yeah.
If the Hawks don't pick him, I may put up my Hawks fandom.
I heard something else. They'd pick somebody else, too. And Dalton Connect, too. I mean, it's just insane. I'm sure another person that's a big Hawks fan and a big NBA fan, too, has been waiting to get on the hold. And Michael Weeks joins us on the
what up,
Neighbors
Michael?
Wealth Management Hotline. How you doing, sir?
Okay, first off, this is LSU Lynch. So apparently y'all
LSU Lynch, I'm sorry.
Look here, y'all been joking on us all day, and I agree with everything that y'all have said because I'm concerned about our team. And Moulton, I've already called in and talked to you and said that and everything. But hey, I ain't sensitive. It's 69 days till we bust that used condom. That's all that matters.
Well, that first game against USC is very important, not only for LSU, but for the conference as well.
Well, look here. We've already had he tried to back out. Now, look here. The boy, the Riley, he already backed out playing Ole Miss home and home. Did he not?
He did.
You saw that, right?
He did. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. But anyway, look here. I just want to brag. Y'all, it's been a great show. It has been a great show. I am fired up.
Well, I'm glad we could.
It's 69 days. But look here. real quick, Moulton. I was at Furniture Factory. Shout out to the Dan Aldridge on Father's Day. He's know him. But my nephew, Ian Vachon, he was the starting kicker at Birmingham Southern. He kicked for Madison Academy.
He sure did.
And he brought you, and he mentioned you, and we had a conversation because
he's an athlete.
He was talking. Well, he was talking about the times that you would come up and talk to him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if do you remember him?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. He improved quite a bit during his time there at Madison Academy.
Yeah. Anyway, I know you're short. That's why I tried to call you the other day on the other show. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
I thought he meant Danny Aldridge. I was like, I know who Danny Aldridge is.
By the way, if you did not see Edwin Diaz get bounced from the game last night, it may have been as entertaining as Boog Shambi trying to talk about Dave Matthews there at Wrigley. That was entertaining, too, and the guy wearing the Smedium shirt.
Yeah.
I hope this is fitting me all right. I'm the last person to be talking about people wearing Smediums. But the fact that Edwin Diaz got bounced.
Yeah. No, Timmy. I wonder if they played Timmy trumpets on his way out.
Clearly, Grimace is the problem. That's the
Thanks,
problem.
Haley.
That's the problem. I'll talk to you at 5.